Okay, welcome back to Zaid Ibrahim podcast. The last segment, I I have this question, Iqbal. Co-curricular activities is of course part of our national syllabus. But from my observation, some schools are more active than others. There is no kind of a uniform approach to develop sports. Now, you have, or I think you are fortunate because you said that the school participation in cricket is quite positive, right? I can't say the same thing about other sports. For example, I don't see swimming, for example. Or I don't see, perhaps I'm wrong, even badminton is a bit more urban kind of a special adopted sport. It's not widespread. And of course, rugby too. Not like during my time. That's how I see it. Am I right about all these things?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in what you're saying, Dato', because it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. You don't create the structure, you don't create the environment, then everything fails.
Fails, yes.
One is big. I'm not sure whether this happens in other countries, but I think Singapore would be one up on us in that sense that sports is not a priority. So you'll find that I come from St. Michael's Ipoh. We used to have 2 grounds. Now the ground at the back is no longer there because they built some 4 stories of
4 stories. Yeah, I know.
laboratory or something lah. I can understand that there is also a need for that. But question is it at the expense of having a playing field?
Yeah.
So where the footballers going to play football, where the rugby players, and I come from that school that used to produce a whole bunch of footballers, hockey players, national players, badminton players came from my school. Tan Yi Kan was from St. Michael's,
Yes,
and
I
all
know.
this, and but gone.
Yeah.
That's one. No facilities. Number 2, normally at that age, the ones who what they call it, mendetik, the trigger, the a talent is normally at a young age. They say catch 'em young.
Yeah, yes.
So what is there to catch when the PE teacher himself or herself is not really sports
Yes. I
connected?
noticed that. That's what I see.
Not very sports connected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't have sports in his heart. Yeah, I understand about all the paper chase and all that. So these are the things that I think we need to address. So when you ask that question, there's a tendency for certain sports to come from certain school because we are just lucky if you have a teacher, a PE teacher who is so committed or who's so passionate about sports. I was lucky because my PE teacher was the opening batsman for Malaysia. So, whilst he taught us tennis or softball or whatever, but he spent a longer time getting cricketers to come on board, students to come on board to play cricket.
Of course.
And I was one of the lucky ones. I happened to be in a school which had cricket.
Yes.
So if I was just next door, like Samtet or Poelam or something like that in Perak, in Ipoh, obviously you're not going to be cricket is not going to be introduced to you. So in that sense, so I think you're right that it should be widespread. But if you're saying it's the teacher who's going to trigger, then it's the teacher that needs to be triggered.
Yes.
So at which point? So Malaysian cricket went actually to Institute Perguruan Bahasa in Lembah Pantai. I think we had. I think for 3 years we were running it. I think we stopped it during COVID. So I think that's one of the things that we need to reignite. We need. If 200 teachers come into the kursus perguruan, even if we get 10% of them to be interested, 20, this 20 is going to be posted to schools. It's a start lah.
It's a start.
It's a start somewhere. So I think if we can get support from the government, getting students who actually come to do a degree in sports should actually have passion for sports in the first place, not because they need a degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's one thing, we don't have passion in this country.
Kurang
We have
sikit.
passion for other things. lah.
Shall not get into that.
No, we don't want to get into that. Yeah, okay. So we need more energy
Yeah.
for sport, lah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah, especially at the school level. Now, what about women? You mentioned something about women's participation in cricket is good. You are happy with it. But generally, what is that the same in other sports?
In other sports, I think people realize now. I don't know what it is. Is it a gender thing or whatever? I don't know. But a lot of money is being thrown in women for sports now.
Okay.
Currently, even in cricket, it's like that. Alhamdulillah, we have been supported by Yayasan Saim Dabi the last 4 years. The goal was to create X number of women cricketers to bring them, and the road to Olympics in 2028. Oh, sorry, the road to World Cup. Oh, by the way, Dato, the women team have qualified for the Under 19 World Cup, which is going to be held in Malaysia, January 2025, which is about 11 months from now. So that's one of the boxes ticked as far as we are concerned. So with that, I hope with the hype, and I hope Ministry of Sports, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Women will come together and hype the whole thing. I mean, how often do you get a World Cup
Yeah.
in Malaysia?
Where you mentioned about ranking just now.
25.
Where would a woman's rank be?
We are 26 now, but I think we are worthy being in the top 20. I feel.
Okay.
Sometimes there is a bit of a defect in the ranking system or something like that. But I feel, personally, they're worthy being in the top 20. Especially what I saw yesterday when they played at the Royal Selangor Club. They were amazing.
Okay.
We beat Indonesia, who are in the top 20. We trashed them.
Okay.
So that's...
And who's our best women player?
We got a few. One is Winifred Durisingham. She's the captain. And the vice captain is Mas Eliza from Perak.
Oh, not from Kelantan.
We've got a few players from Kelantan.
You better do more talent identification in Kelantan. Something's not right.
We need your help, Dato'.
Oh, I've been out of the state for a while. I probably am a persona non grata now. Anyway, okay. I just went to the last part, Iqbal. When I was watching cricket a lot in the school days and the younger days, and even when I was in England, you see, when I look at cricketers, the people the players that I admire most, somehow, either they are from India. I find them very graceful. Maybe it so happened. Even their bowlers are not really fast, not like the Dennis Lilly or Thompson, or the West Indies. They're very graceful players. Is there one way of excellence in cricket that Pakistanis in India seems to have, to me? Or has the cricket changed now? Like football, of course, football's changed now.
Yeah.
The way they play, the kind of players they have. What sort of change do you see in cricket now?
First thing they did was, in England they played the 5-day match, the Test series.
Yeah.
It used to be over 5 days. Then in the mid-80s, or early 80s, they introduced the one-day international. Okay, that's played over 50 overs. In about 12, 14 years ago, they introduced the T20, which is over 20 overs each side, and it's done in 1 hour 10 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes per innings, and it's a few fast and furious game.
So it's changed.
It's changed, completely changed. Those shots we used to call cow shots those days are now the required shots today, because they will play from all angles, do whatever, and none of it in the textbook. It's not like those days, that's textbook cricket.
Yeah.
Now there's no textbook. Now it's all cow shots. Whatever shot you want to play, so long as you get to score runs, you're done. You're a hero. So it's changed, but for those hardcore otai textbook orang lama, they feel this is not good for cricket, because they're still stuck with how it was played. But certainly the new format attracts all kinds of funders, sponsors.
Yeah, so it's just a big money,
it's
of course.
Big business now.
Yeah.
So it's $1 billion.
I look at the
sports.
Indian League,
Yeah, the Indian Premier League.
Premier League, all the superstars are putting money there, You think that will happen here?
Since you asked, it was supposed Malaysian cricket. We embarked on this with the organisers that did. After Indian Premier League, it became there's Pakistan Super League. There's Lanka Premier League. The guys who organised Lanka Premier League have been in discussions with us for the last 3 years, and somehow or other it's just been pushed from COVID, post-COVID, and all that. Finally, this year in August, it's going to take place in Malaysia.
Fantastic. What are you going to call that?
We're going to just call it Malaysian T20.
Malaysian T20.
Yeah, we're just going to call it Malaysian.
I hope to get a free pass
Yeah,
for one of the matches.
I remember. I will get my personal PA to remind me that I'll get you a special pass.
Oh, that's fantastic news. Because I think it's this sort of competition that makes
that brings in
that brings out the best in the country or in the sport.
Hype. That creates the hype. Yeah.
You must have competition.
Yeah.
You know, but in this country they don't like competition. Generally, I'm not saying about you.
Yeah.
You know, in politics, for example, most of the political parties, they say no contest for 1 and 2. No contest, because we have a general election.
Yeah, correct.
And then after general election, no, say, oh, we need to stabilize. No contest again.
Yeah.
They don't like contests.
Yeah.
And that's why our politics is not so good. But sorry, that's a diversion.
But no, interesting that you mentioned that about 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, we changed the constitution, and we made it such that my position is not for me to stay. I can only serve as a president for not more than 3 terms, a term of 2 years each. So even if I get re-elected, at max, I can only serve for 6 years, because I think we need fresh ideas.
Yes.
Even if I think I've done a great job, but I think the person in line would probably bring in fresh ideas.
Yes, I'm very proud of you. At least you are willing to let go. You know, in our country we don't let go. So anyway, Iqbal, thank you very much for spending time talking about sports and cricket, and I hope we can have another session maybe in the future.
Ken,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dato'.
Yeah.